it was a family decision. It was something that I actually sparked by an NFL great, Richard Sherman, and he kind of brought the idea to me. He actually brought the idea to my dad, and then my dad brought the idea to me, and I actually talked to him about it. And it took a couple of nights of thinking. I actually brought it to the staff, to the coaches, and I don't know if they very took it seriously too much in the very beginning. I don't know if they knew if I was actually serious about it or if I was kind of just a thought. But I see an opportunity for myself and somewhere where I can grow. And I think my ceiling as a tight end is a lot higher than my ceiling as a receiver. And so I think if I continue this path, there's good things in store.
Richard's obviously been a mentor to you back since you were a little kid. So
yeah.
When a Hall of Fame cornerback says you should do something, probably you should do it.
Absolutely.
But I guess what did he see in you? Maybe what were some of the things you were seeing on film in yourself that I don't want to be a wide receiver anymore. I want to be a guy who sometimes sticks his hands in the dirt and has to block, especially here where you don't really get the ball that much.
Right. I think maybe some physicality as a receiver, knowing I'm a 6'3" receiver that's like kind of struggles to stay under a certain amount of weight. 215 pounds was just like a regular thing for me, and it was like I was constantly trying to stay as light as I can to keep up the speed of staying a receiver. And it's like, I mean, why not put on 15 more pounds and be an elite tight end? You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, I took his words, and I appreciate him giving me that idea. And like you said, I do look at him as someone, as a mentor and someone that's helped me out in many ways, and I appreciate him looking out in this way.
Had you done anything close to tight end work in high school? Because
yeah. I mean, essentially, running routes, it's still concepts. I mean, we're still part of a concept, and we run routes. It's kind of, it all works. It works in together. And so now the blocking side of things, that's something to perimeter blocking and blocking on the outside is something I did a lot in high school and even as a receiver. But it was definitely something to learn moving forward about the run game. I had to learn all about the run game, and I'm still continuing to learn. But the process is going well.
I was going to ask you about that transition because we know that you were always willing to block on the outside.
Right.
So when you're going inline, then just how different is that for you? And when you're talking about learning, how much is there to be?
Right. It was definitely a transition, and I kind of thought it was going to be harder and more fierce than it is. And like I kind of threw myself in there as soon as I could, and I mean, my first time going in there to block somebody, I'm like, wow, I love this, man. I want to put my face on somebody else, and it was just something I enjoyed doing, and I'm happy about the transition, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
How have you seen that maybe improve just over 8 or 9 days? I know you didn't get the full spring.
Right. I've seen growth. I mean, even though I didn't get the whole spring, there was a lot of mental reps being taken. I'm able to watch and see Jeremy do the things, the roles that I'd probably be in store doing. So just being able to see the things being done, and then when I was able to get out there doing it myself, I mean, I just learned. I kind of automatically had a love for it. It's almost like I jumped into it. I almost started liking it right away. I don't know if me and tight end still in the honeymoon stage, but I think I started liking it more than receiver. It's like I get the physical side of the game. I love that, and then I also get to be a route runner. So I enjoy it a lot, and I'm excited about it.
Literally, you know that tight ends in this offense aren't going to get a ton of catches. Like, you
Right.
Get that up.
Yeah, I understand. I think I understand that. I mean, I'm here to be a team player. If everything I did was for personal benefit or for something for me, not only would I not get too far in football, I probably wouldn't get too far in life. So I'm here making the decision that I want to be the best player possible, whether that's receiving the ball or being a hell of a blocker. So I'm here to do that and be the best at it.
How is it going from being covered by corners to being covered by the linebackers and the safeties? And what's different about that?
It was a transition for sure. I mean, I think the speed on the inside when it comes to the route running is a lot different. It's a little bit slower, and it's kind of easier to decipher different coverages, and you can kind of see what's going on a little bit easier. But on the outside, it seems like everybody seems so much faster, and the move that it takes to get open is a lot harder. And that's the main thing I noticed.
What's your weight at right now?
I'm at 228.
You mentioned, the NFL. Like, are there any tight ends in the NFL right now that you look at and think, like, I could bottom my game after this guy?
Yeah, there's a few. There's a few that I can think of. I'm trying to think of somebody off the top of my head. What's the Ingram dude's name? Evan Ingram. There's a lot of different tight ends that, I mean, you would think, when you think tight end, Kyle Pitts, of course. When you think tight end, you think of somebody that's a 6'6", 260-pound, slower guy that blocks, and that kind of has been the history of the game, and that's kind of the way it's been going. But if you look kind of in the future of where the tight end position could potentially go, you can see it being more of an elite, faster, and someone that's physical, kind of like a receiver that almost transitions into a tight end. So you can see that being in the future of the game. And so I just kind of hopped on the trend early.
Do you feel like with your receiver background that you can bring a new dimension to this offense at that position?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Hey, G, I want to ask about another mentor of yours, Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
What's that relationship been like? How did that come about, and why have you guys been able to click?
So throughout my life, I've seen, since my football career started, I've actually seen there was a lot of similarities from the beginning with Larry Fitzgerald and I. People would always tell me I played my game just like him. My dream and goal is to be an NFL vet just like him, and I actually want to be a mentor to young rookies. That's something that I want to do, and there's been a lot of similarities in general. And then about 2-3 weeks ago, I had found out that his mom had passed away at the same age as my mom did, and there was just so many similarities that it's like, man, there's so many similarities, and I'm like, man, I need to talk to this guy. So I reached out to Richard. I'm like, man, is there anything we can do to kind of get us in contact? I just want to talk to the guy, and we ended up getting in contact. We had a great conversation, and ever since then, he just reaches out regularly and just makes sure everything's good, and I'm appreciative to have that relationship.
When was the last time you guys talked?
Maybe a week and a half ago. I think he messaged me, just asked how everything was going.
What's it like just being able to reach out to an all-time great and know that you're not the only one going through what you've gone through? He's gone through it, and you just need to talk to him. You can.
It's dope. It's just, especially when there's just so much when you have so much respect for somebody, and not because of what they said or what people think about them, but by what they've done. If you just look at the things that he's done, he's actually went out there and has done it consistently for many years. You're not hearing about Larry Fitzgerald doing bad things out here, getting in trouble here and there. Someone that's actually been a consistent leader to not only his teammates but everyone around him in the NFL. And so being able to hear words straight from him, man, it's a blessing for sure.
What's a tip he's given you? I mean, or some advice he's given you that you can pass along?
The advice that he's given me has had nothing to do with football, honestly. It has had nothing to do with really the X's and O's of football. It's been a lot about life and stuff like that, and the obstacles that you're gonna have to overcome, and chasing being the best person that you can be. And so those are the kind of things that we've talked about. I mean, it hasn't been too much the X's and O's of football.
Do you feel blessed that you have access? I mean, you kind of talked about it a second ago. Richard Sherman, Larry Fitzgerald, how blessed are you to have that kind of...
Beyond blessed,
I think
man.
Your dad's kind of like a liaison there too, you know?
Yeah, I'm beyond blessed for all of it. I mean, I'm blessed for a lot of reasons, man. I'm blessed for those relationships. I'm blessed to be here. And so I'm definitely appreciative. Not a day goes by that I'm not appreciative for those things. And I never take it for granted. When I hear those words, I'm like a vacuum. I take it all in and everything they say. I take the things out of it that I need to take out of it, and I apply it to my life. Like I said, these are people that have actually done the things and been the places where I want to go. And so, like I said, I'm thankful for those kind of relationships.
Hey, G, choosing to be a tight end basically on your own, coming to the coaches, that's a pretty professional decision to make.
Yes, sir.
Like, given what you're back, you're a top 100 receiver. And
Yeah.
just a year ago, we're talking about how can you afford, help out this team as two freshmen, and now obviously things have worked out how they go. I know the relationship you have probably informed some of that.
Mm-hmm.
How have can you speak to that a little bit? How being around all these professionals has allowed you to maybe see bigger picture in a world where you could have easily maybe gotten a little upset that Richard told you should probably be a tight end when you were one of the 10 best wide receivers in the country.
Absolutely. I think it's very easy to kind of think small picture, because if I was here to think small picture, I'd be like, well, why in the world do I want to be a tight end? Why would I want to play tight end at the Ohio State if I'm not going to get the catches I want to get? I think it's more of a big picture scheme, and I think that's the problem with a lot of things in life. I think everybody wants something right now, and that's not the reality of it, and that's not the way I expect it to go. I think I'm not expecting it to be an overnight sensation. I'm here to put the dirty hard work in, chop wood and carry water, and I'm here to just live another day and just keep going and just day by day get better. And like you said, I'm looking at the big picture and who I can be in the future, and day by day I'm continuing to grow to be the best man I can be.
But do you think you can be responsible for the tight end becoming a more focal part of the offense?
Absolutely.
Do you take that on yourself?
Yes, sir. I saw that all of you guys have seen the way Kyle Pitts has went around about being the player that he is. I think he's one of the, I think he, if I'm not mistaken, is he the highest drafted tight end to ever go? Is it? So I think that's like wow, that's a part of history, man. Like one of the highest, and it's someone that came from kind of a receiver background that came into the tight end position. So I think, I mean, when it goes down to history, I think he's gonna be one of the first guys that really kind of elevate that position and kind of change it a little bit. And I think my goal is to kind of come right behind him and make it even more definite on where this tight end position is going.
How much does that like influence
How
you?
much does it help you to be able to learn from Jeremy and watch what he's doing?
It's great. I mean, it's good to learn from a lot of these guys. I mean, I think I definitely take parts of everybody's game in the tight end room and I apply it to myself. Especially coming from a receiver, like I said, coming from a receiver background. I think I'm taking everything with a grain of salt. I'm taking Jeremy's route running ability, Kate Stover's blocking ability. You know, I'm taking all of these different pieces and I'm trying to apply it to my own game coming in as a new guy. And so, and all of this is going towards being the best player I can be.
With Kyle Pitts going so high in the draft and being a Heisman finalist, you talked about him and wanting to kind of follow that. Did that make tight end a position that was more alluring or attractive to you? Like,
Yeah.
Would it have been different if it was like 5 years ago?
I think it's a combination of all the things that we've been talking about so far in this conversation. I think it's been the mentorship. I think it's been a personal decision. I think it's been the way I see the tight end position going with Kyle Pitts. I think it's just a combination of them all. It's no one thing in particular, but that definitely plays a part in why I wanted to make that decision.
And you also talked about your weight. When you were a receiver, it was difficult to maybe stay under 215. And,
Right.
And this offseason, has it been like more freeing to not have to stress about that?
Yeah. I mean, everything's been more freeing. I feel like I can just go harder in the weight room. It's kind of funny coming from like the heaviest guy in the room to kind of like now coming in as the lightest guy. So now I'm trying to catch up everybody with my weight. And so, it's been a journey, but day by day I continue just to chase where I want to be, and it's going good so far. I'm happy for it.
So are you able just to lift more and eat more?
Yep. Yeah. Lifting, eat more, eat as much as I can, and try to maintain a certain weight to be able to play this tight end position. Not only because I need to, but I mean, even for safety reasons, man. Like, I mean, when you're in there playing with those big guys, you kind of want a certain amount of weight just to be able to maintain.
Do you have a weight goal?
I mean, we just taking it day by day. Really, I mean, realistically, I probably want to play around the low 230s for right now. And over time, we'll see where that goes.
I look at y'all's room though, and I see 4 or 5 totally different looking dudes.
Yeah.
Is tight end? That's just a nomenclature. But I mean, how do you? I mean, you guys are all different. You know, you're
Right.
kind of. Do they need to come up with a name for a guy like you? Another kind of position name for what you kind of
Right.
bring to the table?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we'll see where the next few years goes, and maybe when things start going well, maybe we can come up with a name.
In your mind, are you a tight end, or do you still think of yourself as a receiver, or is it kind of in between?
I'm a tight end. I mean, I'm a tight end that has great route running ability. That's kind of the way that I look at myself, and yeah.
And future-wise, and I know you're focused on here and now, but
Yeah.
because the NFL is a big part of your background,
Right.
Is that what you want to do in the NFL? Would you consider moving back to? I mean, how do you view what comes next?
I think I'm completely honestly, I'm just considering whatever makes me the best football player possible. I think if it came to the point where I move back to the receiver position, I mean, I think there's no fault by that. I think now I just kind of have a better understanding of the run game and how blocks work on the inside. I think it's just a win-win situation, whether I'm on the inside playing tight end or I'm out wide playing receiver. I think I can do both. But to answer your question, I mean, I'm a tight end, so.
And what were the reactions of the guys in your receiver room, especially your classmates, and then the guys in the tight end room when you kind of told them about?
But sorry, can you ask that question
Just
again?
the reactions of the guys in the receiver room when you told them you were leaving, and then when you went to the tight end room, how did they kind of receive you?
Everybody was supportive of it. I mean, especially the receivers. They're like, I mean, all my teammates at first were like, they were surprised, but they're like, man, that's good for you. I mean, that's good for you. I see a bright future for you, and go do that. I think that was another thing that kind of made the transition easier, is just the support of everybody around me. They've all kind of came together and made me feel good about it. So I feel good, and man, I'm ready to rock.
Because of your background, do you see it as kind of an opportunity to have sort of a unique career here, and that you're going to show defenses maybe something they haven't seen? You get to give the Ohio State offense something it hasn't necessarily been able to do.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I think I hear a lot of people say that the tight end position here doesn't really get the ball too much. But my answer to that is why not? I mean, why can't that change? And why can't we install different things into the offense to make that be different? And I think moving forward, that's exactly what I want to do, and I want to continue to cause mismatches for the defense, and that's my plan.
It's like you have to do things to prove yourself worthy of that. That's kind of the conversation's been going on here, right, for years. Like every throw to a tight end is a throw that doesn't go to somebody else.
Right, absolutely. And I'm here to just take advantage of every opportunity that I get and be the best Buckeye possible.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.